Hello, happy Monday. Here's what we're doing today. We're going to go through the Monday folder. This is Monday's lesson. When you're done, you're going to turn in your graph. Top 3 ideas. Remember, graphs and polls are a kind of media. We are consumers of this media when we are looking at graphs on the news and in the ads. And we're going to learn how to be creators and how to tell our story and influence people's actions based on the kind of choices we make when we create our own graphs. So you'll need to go into Schoology. So get your iPad out, and if you want, you can get into your course real quick. We're going to be in week 6. Today's Monday, so the first assignment is Deceptive Data Part 2. I'm going to open that one up. Open up the attachments, and you'll use this button up here in the top right corner to send a copy to Keynote. The first thing I'd like you to do is rename your Keynote so that I can find which one belongs to you. Remember, we do that by tapping on the top, clicking rename, and then you're going to add your first and last name and your class period. So I'm Stephanie Krajcik, and if I'm in A3, then I'll put A3. If you're in B2, you'll put B2, and then click done. All right, so I already have one called that, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right. Then we're going to click on the edit button so that we can start doing our work. The first task is to create a line graph. You're going to use this video to help you do it. And you're going to use the data from this chart to create the graph. Then you're going to format, and that's going to be here. You'll need to add titles and labels to both the horizontal and the vertical axis. And then in the video, I'm going to show you how to do a couple things, and I'd like to see you have those in your graph too. All right, so let's zoom back out. So step 1, we need to add a graph, and if you can remember, anytime you add, you're going to use this plus. So we're going to click plus, and since we're making graphs, we're going to use that second option. And we're going to stay in the 2D, and we're going to scroll until we see a line graph. And there is a line graph, so I'm going to add that. It's gigantic. As long as it's turned on, and I know it's turned on because these little blue dots are on there, I can drag it around, and I can grab the little corner dots to resize it, and then that makes me happier. Step 2, we need to add our own data because right now the data does not reflect what we have in our graph. So if you'll remember, you turn on your graph and then you edit data by tapping and choosing edit data. The data here looks different than our graph in that we have 2 things. We only need 1, so let's delete region 1, select the little blue rectangle, then tap it again and click delete. The second thing we need to do is add all of our months, and we have up here I think it's September through October, so I'm going to actually just abbreviate, and I'm going to add my months: October, November, December, and so on. You can click next to get all of the months in there. Remember, there are 2 for March and 2 for April, so make sure that you put them in twice. And then you'll need to go through and add your data. Region 2 will replace that. The graph, I'll click done so I can go back and look. It's the number of minutes read and then month. So this up and down axis, the y-axis, needs to be the number of minutes read. So I'm going to turn on my data, get into edit it, the number of minutes read. Okay. And then I'm going to add my data in here. So you do that now, pause your video, add a line graph, add the months, and add the number of minutes read. So now your graph should look something like mine. We need to start formatting our graph to add our title, our labels, maybe change the way this displays. Like I really prefer to see numbers with commas. We need to add a title. So this is number of minutes read each month. This is the month, this is the number of minutes read, and maybe we can change some of the different choices here. So remember to format, we're going to make sure our graph is selected and then click on the paintbrush or the format. We're going to start by adding our title, so that's in the chart menu. And you'll go about halfway down or an inch down and make sure that the title option is toggled on. Right now under the style, you can change what color your title is. I'm going to make mine blue, and I'm going to make mine bold. All right, so I'm going to click back out and change that by double tapping, and I'm going to say number of minutes read by month. Okay, so there's that. Now I need to label my vertical and my horizontal axes. So I'm going to select my graph and click on the format again. This time we're going to go into the style menu, and I'm going to start with the vertical axis, which is here in the y-axis. I'm going to go into the value labels. First I'm going to turn on the axis name, right? And I'm going to go into my value labels because I want there to be commas. So we're going to go into number format, and I want to add a separator. So I'm going to toggle on the separator. Okay, so let's go back, and I'll show that to you again. So we're in the style menu, y-axis. I make sure that I toggle on axis name, go into the value labels and the number format, and make sure you have separator toggled on. And so that will give you these things here. If I click out of it and double tap on where it says vertical or value axis, I can now tap and add my name. So this is the number of minutes right here. And then these are the months. All right. Things that I might want to do, I might want to change this. I don't necessarily need the 0. I could make these bold, but I probably want to, I think I'm happy with it. I'm just going to leave it alone just like that. All right. Pause this video, and I want you to do the same thing that I did. Make sure everything is turned on, everything is labeled, and then you'll be ready to go on to task 2.